The December wind cut through Manhattan like a knife, but Maya Chin barely felt it as she stood outside the bookstore where everything had begun 3 years ago. Her phone buzzed with another text from her sister. "Mom's making your favorite cookies. When are you arriving?" Maya stared at the message, her thumb hovering over the keyboard. How could she explain that going home for Christmas meant facing the one person she'd spent the last 6 months running from? 6 months earlier, Maya had made the biggest mistake of her life. She'd walked away from Sophia Rodriguez without an explanation, leaving only a hastily written note that said she needed space. The truth was far more complicated than that. They'd met on a rainy Tuesday afternoon when Maya had ducked into Sophia's art gallery to escape a sudden downpour. Sophia had been hanging a new exhibition, her dark hair pulled back, paint-stained fingers adjusting a frame with meticulous care. When their eyes met, Maya felt something shift in her chest, a recognition she couldn't explain. "Do you know anything about art?" Sophia had asked with a playful smile. "Absolutely nothing," Maya had admitted, and Sophia had laughed, a sound that would haunt Maya's dreams for years to come. What followed was 2.5 years of the kind of love Maya had only read about in books. Sophia taught her to see beauty in unexpected places. They spent weekends exploring hidden corners of the city, stayed up until dawn talking about everything and nothing, built a life together piece by careful piece. But Maya's family was traditional. When her mother had accidentally seen a photo of Maya and Sophia kissing on Maya's laptop during a video call, the silence that followed had been deafening. Her father had refused to speak to her for weeks. Her younger sister, Emma, caught in the middle, had begged Maya to just give them time. The pressure had mounted like water behind a dam. Maya started pulling away, making excuses, creating distance. And then, in a moment of panic and weakness, she'd run. But running required a cover story. Enter Jessica Park, Maya's coworker from the marketing firm where they both worked. Jessica was going through her own complicated situation, a messy breakup with her boyfriend of 5 years, and when Maya had desperately explained her predicament over drinks one night, Jessica had offered an unexpected solution. "Pretend we're dating," Jessica had said, swirling her wine. "Your family gets their normal daughter back and my ex sees I've moved on. Win-win." It had seemed genius in her wine-hazed state. Logical. Safe. It had been the worst decision of Maya's life. For 6 months, Maya played the part. She posted carefully curated photos with Jessica on social media. She brought Jessica to family dinners. Her mother's relief had been palpable, her father's coldness thawing degree by degree. "Jessica is lovely," her mother had said over Sunday brunch. "So accomplished, and from such a good family." Maya had smiled and nodded, all while feeling like a fraud. At night, she'd lie awake thinking about Sophia. She drafted 1,000 texts she never sent, driven past Sophia's gallery more times than she could count, created elaborate fantasies about showing up at her door with an explanation that would make everything make sense. But she never did. Jessica had been a good sport about the arrangement, but even she had started to notice the toll it was taking. "You know this can't go on forever, right?" she'd said one evening as they left another family gathering. "You're miserable, Maya. And frankly so am I. I'm ready to actually start dating again, not just pretending." Maya had known she was right. But knowing and doing were two entirely different things. Then came her mother's call 2 weeks before Christmas. "We're having the usual Christmas Eve gathering," her mother had said, her voice warm with excitement. "And your father and I were thinking, why don't you and Jessica come early? Maybe stay the whole week? We'd love to get to know her better. Your father is even talking about taking everyone skiing." Maya's stomach had dropped. A whole week of the charade? She'd barely survived an evening. "Mom, I'm not sure if Jessica can get the time off." "Nonsense, I already spoke to her mother at the grocery store. She mentioned Jessica was planning to be home for Christmas anyway. It's perfect." Of course. Jessica's mother and Maya's mother were in the same book club. The web of lies was getting impossibly tangled. That night, Maya had sat in her apartment, her laptop open to Sophia's gallery website. There was a new exhibition announcement. Metamorphosis, New works by Sophia Rodriguez, opening Christmas Eve. The irony wasn't lost on her. I can't do this anymore. Jessica stood in Maya's kitchen on December 15th, her arms crossed, her expression apologetic but firm. My ex reached out. He wants to try again, and honestly, I think I want that too. But I can't do it while pretending to be your girlfriend. It's not fair to him, to me, or to you. This needs to end, Maya. Maya felt panic rising in her chest. But Christmas is in 10 days. Your family will survive, Jessica said gently. Tell them we broke up. Tell them the truth. Tell them anything. But I'm done lying. After Jessica left, Maya sat on her couch for hours, staring at nothing. Her carefully constructed house of cards was collapsing, and she had no idea how to stop it. Her phone rang. Her sister. Hey, Maya, I need to tell you something. Emma's voice was tight with an emotion Maya couldn't identify. I ran into someone today, at the coffee shop on 5th Avenue. Maya's heart stopped. Who? Sophia. The name hung in the air between them. She asked about you. Emma continued quietly. She looked really sad. And I felt terrible because I've been lying to her too. She asked if you were happy with Jessica, and I said yes because that's what you told us to say. But you're not happy, are you? Maya's eyes filled with tears. No. Then why are you doing this? It was the question Maya had been avoiding for 6 months. Why? Because it was easier? Because she was a coward? Because facing her family's disappointment seemed impossible? I don't know, she whispered. Well, I do know something, Emma said. Sophia mentioned she's having an opening on Christmas Eve. She said she'd understand if none of us came, but that we'd be welcome if we wanted to. Maya, I think she still loves you. After hanging up, Maya made a decision. The next day, Maya called her parents and asked them to meet her for dinner. She picked a quiet restaurant, somewhere neutral where she could control the situation. Her parents arrived looking concerned. Her mother immediately started fussing. Is everything okay? Is it Jessica? We haven't done anything to upset her, have we? Mom, Dad, there's something I need to tell you. Maya took a deep breath. Jessica and I aren't together. We were never together. I made it up. The silence that followed was crushing. Her father set down his fork carefully. I don't understand. I was scared, Maya said, her voice cracking. After you saw that photo of me and Sophia, the way you both reacted, I thought if I could just show you someone you'd approve of, someone who fit what you wanted, maybe things could go back to normal. So Jessica and I pretended to date. Her mother's hand went to her mouth. For 6 months? You lied to us for 6 months. I'm sorry. I was wrong. But I need you to understand something. Maya felt tears streaming down her face, but she didn't wipe them away. I love Sophia. I've loved her for 3 years. And I destroyed what we had because I was too afraid to fight for it. I was too afraid to believe that you might eventually accept us. Her father was quiet for a long moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was strained. Maya, you have to understand. The way we were raised, the values we have. I know, Dad. I know it's hard for you. But I'm asking you to try. Because I can't keep living a lie. And I can't keep being someone I'm not just to make you comfortable. Her mother was crying now too. We never wanted you to feel like you had to lie to us. But I did feel that way. And maybe that's partly on me, but it's also partly on you. When you saw that photo, you didn't ask me about her. You didn't ask me if I was happy. You just shut down. And I couldn't handle that. The conversation lasted for hours. There were tears, raised voices, painful silences. But slowly, something began to shift. Her father talked about his own struggles with change, with reconciling his traditional values with his love for his daughter. Her mother admitted she'd been more worried about what other people would think than about Maya's actual happiness. We're not saying this is easy, her father finally said. And we can't promise we'll get it right immediately. But you're our daughter. And we love you. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a Hollywood ending. But it was real, and it was a start. There's one more thing, Maya said. Sophia is having an art exhibition opening on Christmas Eve. I'm going to go. I'm going to try to apologize and see if there's any chance she'll forgive me. I don't know if you'd want to come, but if you did, I think it would mean something to both of us. Her mother and father exchanged a long look. We'll think about it, her mother said finally. Maya stood outside Sophia's gallery on Christmas Eve, watching through the window as people mingled inside. She could see Sophia across the room, wearing a black dress, her hair down, laughing at something someone said. She looked radiant. She looked happy. Maya almost turned around and left. But then Emma appeared at her elbow. Don't you dare run again. Emma, what are you doing here? Moral support. Emma linked her arm through Maya's. And also, Mom and Dad are parking the car. Maya's heart nearly stopped. What? They want to meet her. The real her. The woman you love. Emma smiled. Now come on, before you lose your nerve. The gallery was warm and crowded, filled with the gentle murmur of conversation and soft jazz playing from hidden speakers. Sophia's paintings lined the walls, stunning abstract pieces that seemed to pulse with emotion. Maya recognized the technique, the color palette Sophia had always favored, but there was something new here. Something raw and painful and beautiful. They're about transformation, a voice said beside her. Maya turned to find an older woman holding a champagne glass. About the process of becoming. The artist said each piece represents a different stage of letting go and finding yourself again. Maya looked at the paintings with new eyes. In each one, she could see Sophia's journey. The pain of abandonment. The anger. The slow, hard work of healing. Maya. She turned, and there was Sophia, standing a few feet away, her expression unreadable. Hi, Maya breathed. For a long moment, they just looked at each other. Then Sophia said, Can we talk? Privately? They moved to Sophia's office at the back of the gallery, a small space cluttered with paint tubes and sketches. Sophia closed the door and leaned against her desk. I wasn't sure you'd come, Sophia said quietly. I almost didn't. Maya twisted her hands together. Sophia, I need to apologize. I saw the photos, Sophia interrupted, of you and Jessica. For 6 months, I saw them. Do you have any idea what that was like? I'm so sorry. Were you ever going to tell me the truth? Or were you just going to let me think you'd moved on? That what we had meant nothing to you? It meant everything to me. Maya's voice broke. That's why I ran. I was so scared, Sophia. My family's reaction, the thought of losing them, of having to choose, I panicked. And then Jessica offered to pretend to date me, and it seemed like the perfect solution. I could keep you safe from my family's judgment, keep my family happy, keep everything separate and controlled. Except you couldn't keep me, Sophia said, her eyes shining with tears. Because you broke my heart instead. I know. And I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. But you need to know Jessica and I were never together. It was all fake. I was trying to make my family accept me by showing them what they wanted to see, but all I did was lose the only thing that actually mattered. Sophia was quiet for a long moment. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm done lying. I told my family the truth. About us, about Jessica, about everything. And I came here tonight because... Maya took a shaky breath. Because I love you. I never stopped loving you. And if there's any chance, any possibility that you might be willing to give me another chance, I will spend the rest of my life proving to you that I will never run again. Before Sophia could respond, there was a knock on the door. Emma stuck her head in, looking apologetic. Sorry to interrupt, but Mom and Dad are here, and they're asking for you. Maya felt her stomach drop. I'll be right there. But Sophia caught her hand. They're here? Your parents? They wanted to meet you. To see your work. I know it doesn't fix anything, but they're trying. Sophia looked down at their joined hands, then back up at Maya. Okay, let's go meet them together. Maya's parents stood awkwardly in the center of the gallery, looking at one of Sophia's larger pieces, a swirling composition of golds and deep blues that seemed to capture both chaos and peace. Mom, Dad, Maya said, Sophia's hand still in hers. This is Sophia Rodriguez. Sophia, these are my parents, Linda and David Chen. Her mother stepped forward first, extending her hand. It's nice to finally meet you properly. Your work it's very moving. Thank you, Mrs. Chen. Sophia shook her hand, then David's. I appreciate you coming tonight. There was an awkward pause. Then David said, would you explain this piece to us? I'd like to understand it better. As Sophia began talking about her artistic process, her inspiration, the meaning behind the colors and forms, Maya watched her parents actually listen. They asked questions. They engaged. It wasn't perfect. There was still tension in the air, still uncertainty, but they were trying. Emma appeared with champagne for everyone. To new beginnings, she said, raising her glass. To new beginnings, they echoed. Later, after her parents had left with promises to meet again for coffee in the new year, after the gallery had cleared out and Emma had hugged them both goodbye, Maya and Sophia stood alone among the paintings. I'm not saying everything is fine, Sophia said, turning to face Maya. You hurt me. You broke my trust. That doesn't just go away, because you apologized. I know, but I also know something else. Sophia stepped closer. I know that I spent 6 months trying to get over you and couldn't. I know that every painting in this exhibition is about you. About us. About losing you and trying to find myself again. And I know that when I saw you tonight, I felt something I haven't felt in 6 months. What? Hope. Maya felt tears sliding down her cheeks. So, what does that mean? It means we start over. Slowly. It means you have to earn back my trust. It means you have to prove that you're not going to run the next time things get hard. Sophia reached up and wiped away Maya's tears. But it also means I'm willing to try. If you are. I am. I promise you, I am. They stood there in the quiet gallery, surrounded by art that told the story of their heartbreak and healing, and Maya felt something settle in her chest. It wasn't the end of the story. It was barely the beginning. There would be hard conversations ahead, work to be done, trust to be rebuilt. But as Sophia took her hand and led her toward the door, turning off lights as they went, Maya knew one thing for certain. She would never run again. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Outside, snow had begun to fall, dusting the Manhattan streets with white. Sophia paused on the sidewalk, looking up at the sky. It's Christmas, she said softly. Merry Christmas, Sophia. Sophia turned to her, a small smile playing at her lips. Merry Christmas, Maya. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for letting me. They walked down the street together, hand in hand, leaving footprints in the fresh snow. Behind them, the gallery lights went dark. Ahead, the city sparkled with holiday lights and infinite possibilities. The story of Maya and Sophia wasn't over. In many ways, it was just beginning again. But this time, Maya wasn't running from it. This time, she was running toward it with everything she had. And that made all the difference. Maya's story of running, hiding, and finally finding the courage to face the truth. She used a fake relationship to escape, but love and Christmas pulled her back to what really mattered. Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of Maya's choices? Would you have done the same thing in her position, or would you have handled it differently? Do you think Sophia was right to give her another chance, or should she have walked away for good? Have you ever hidden a relationship from your family? Have you ever run from something you knew you should face? How did it turn out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about love, family, and the courage it takes to be yourself, even when it's terrifying. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that explore the complicated, beautiful messiness of human relationships. What would you do if you were Maya? What would you do if you were Sophia? I'm genuinely curious to hear your perspective, so share your story in the comments. Sometimes the conversations we have are just as meaningful as the stories themselves. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next story.